Hello everyone, welcome to Spirit Island. We're going to be playing today on Tabletop Sim instead of in the app for a couple of reasons. I haven't uploaded any Spirit Island videos for a while. I don't know, a week? I don't remember exactly how long. Because like 2 Spirit games were taking a long time, and I was kind of like, didn't really see any ideas for really cool content with solo Spirit play. But the Tabletop Sim mod has all of the expansions, and so I thought that we would try some of the expansion spirits. I also saw the app developers are working on the first expansion now. If you check out their Twitch channel at... excuse me, why is my finger, like, flickering? Do you guys see that? It's not doing that on my screen, but on the preview it was. Oh, that's so weird. Anyway, Handelabra Games? Handelabra Live? I forget what their Twitch channel is called. But anyway, last week they did a preview of... they're not even in beta yet, they're just like doing internal. But it like seems to basically work, except that sometimes there are bugs. So it's not really ready for player testing, but it looks like they're getting there. And it reminded me like, hey, maybe I should play some of the expansions. So I played an expansion game online with some friends. So I'm sort of familiar with like the basics of the rules. And I thought I would show them to you guys. The other reason that I wanted to play on Tabletop Sim is because this week, well, I guess maybe last week, the game designer published an errata, a set of new rules. Most of them are pretty small, like technicality adjustments to weird edge cases, and like don't come up very much. Why on earth? Look at that. That finger is going nuts. Is there anything I can do about this? Like if I... properties... I don't know. It's a mystery. Well, I hope it doesn't bother you guys too much. Or maybe you're not seeing it. I just sound like an idiot. But I promise you, in the preview window, the finger is flickering for no reason. There's one important errata from that group, which really impacts solo games especially. Which is, the new rule is, regardless of the number of players, before you begin the game, you add 1 extra blight to the blight pool. Which obviously makes it easier because you have to spend more blight before you run out. But it especially makes solo easier. It was a mistake. The idea is the amount of blight in the pool scales with number of players, right? It's 2 times number of players. But what you should be measuring, the game designer realized, is the amount of usable blight, right? Blight that... If you are playing single player, you can only get 1 blight without having the island blighted. And only like, 2 plus 4, for example, before losing the game. You'll be 1 away from losing the game at that point. And that's kind of the interesting measuring point. Whereas if you have like 4 players, you get 8 total blight, which means 7 usable blight. So it's actually like you have 7 times as much blight to work with for just 4 players. And so like, okay, you go through the blight 4 times as fast, but you're still like 7/4 of the way ahead. And by adding 1 blight, it evens things out so that the thing that matters is what scales. The Tabletop Sim has some good modding for setup especially, and it makes things reasonably convenient in-game as well. So we're going to play against France. I've never played France, but it's the one that was included in the expansion that we're going to be playing with. Where is France? Here they are. So their deal is... there are only 7 towns in the game, and if you ever have more than 7 towns on the board, you instantly lose. Their escalation is, after exploring, okay, so they're going to be, I assume, like, blighting a lot of the time. Okay. And, what difficulty shall we play? I think... 3 should be a challenge. 2 would probably be easy. Like I'm learning new cards, new spirits, new adversaries. But 5 still seems too easy. I would rather play like difficulty 6 or something. But I'll try 7. Maybe I'll lose. It'll be okay. Which is France 3. So additionally, whenever they explore to a land with no buildings, they add a second explorer. Okay. Furthermore, during setup, you add the Slave Rebellion effect under the top 3 cards of the event deck. So we'll talk about events. That's an expansion thing. After invaders build in a land with 2 or more explorers, okay, so this is 2 different effects happening at level 2. Right, first there's a setup thing, and then also there's a modification to how they build. Okay. So if they build in a land with multiple explorers, all but 1 explorer turns into towns as well. Yikes, okay. Given that there are only 7 towns in the box, that's pretty scary. Early plantations. During setup, on each board, add a town to the highest numbered land without a town, and add another town to land number 1. Good heavens. Okay. So we're going to add Branch and Claw, the first expansion. And can I see, like, the event cards or something? I want to know, like, where the heck is France's special event? Because I want to know what it does. Search. Can I search for slave? No, it's not in there. Okay, let me just look that up off, out of game, I guess. Spirit Island, France, Slave Rebellion. On the frequently asked questions is not quite what I wanted. I wanted the card catalog, I think. Maybe? Slave. If I search for. Yeah, Slave Rebellion. Here we go. So events basically are a thing that happens in between the Fear card phase and the. No. In between Blighted Island and Fear. So it's. You get to use your Fear cards to react to them, but events kind of add randomness and unpredictability and are slightly unfavorable to the player on average. But there are other things that are favorable to the player added in the expansions. This kind of balances out. Anyway, what's the old Slave Rebellion? Okay, so it's added where exactly? It says in between. Here we go. Under the top 3 cards of the event deck. Okay, so I guess I don't know what stage it will appear. It's not like an invader card. It's an event card. Sure. So under the top 3, so it'll be the 4th event I get on turn 4. Probably that'll be in stage 1 or 2. Okay. So let's see what'll happen. On each board, add a strife to 1 town. Strife is a good thing. We want towns to be strifing. We'll talk about that later. After finishing the event card, draw another one. Then return this card to the event deck as per setup? What does that mean? Oh, I see. So, as per setup, it's in the event deck, 3rd from the top. So basically, every like 3 events that you draw, you'll draw this thing. And then another event. So this is just like modifying an event with also add a strife, which is good because you want to add strife. And then furthermore, invaders with strife take damage per Dahan, and you add Dahan per buildings this destroys. Okay, so some towns don't participate in ravaging. Instead, they damage other buildings and turn into Dahans. This is Okay, this is a useful counterbalance, not something that penalizes me. So I see. So this stage 2 thing is, yes, they're going to build a lot more towns, but every few turns, we get a big benefit. Okay, exciting. This all looks fine. Let's hit start game. No, I have to choose a spirit. And this expansion only features these 2 spirits. It wouldn't be too crazy to like... Oh, right. So the top 8 are the normal ones. These are the 2 promo ones we already played. Down here is the second expansion. It was a very large expansion. Branch and Claw was kind of smaller. It added more mechanics, not more content. I'd like to play as Keeper of the Forbidden Wilds. Actually, let me look at the back of the France card. Does it say anything about like who... In the rulebook somewhere, it tells you like who's good against France and who's bad. But I don't know. I'll just try Keeper of the Forbidden Wilds and see what they're like. So, Pockets of Deep Wilderness, untouched. So you make it hard for people to explore, basically. I think. Okay. And you're good at offense, which is good. We need that to keep the towns under control, I guess. Okay, I don't know. So, what color do we want to be for Keep of the Forbidden Wilds? It seems like a kind of green thing, doesn't it? So I'll be green. It's like a little silly. I kind of want to sit closer to the board, but I also want the green tokens, so whatever. So I'll just take this one. And it's helpfully like giving me all my tokens and my cards and everything. And we will start game. Yes, we're using events. We're using Branch and Claw, France 3, 1 player. Okay. So it followed all the setup instructions, and it also put on these new tokens. We started with a beast and a disease. Beasts don't do anything by themselves, but there are powers that care about beasts and events that care about beasts. Disease does do something by itself. It prevents the next build and then is removed. And there are also, of course, powers that care about disease as well. So let's do the initial Explorer before we look at our powers. I assume it successfully put the event card in there. Okay. Hang on. I need to... There should be a blight pool somewhere. I guess there's not, because normally there's no way. I'll just use this blight pool. One of these expansion spirits has a way to generate blight, so I'm just going to grab one of his and drop it in there. Great. So that's, remember, the errata. So let's look at the initial Explorer. They're exploring in jungles. France doesn't do anything special about explorers, do they? Well... Okay, did we successfully return? Yeah, there are only 4 towns left in the box. Oh my god, I'm dying. They added 3 of their 7 already during setup. Unbelievable. Okay. So during Explorer, that all happened. Okay. Loss and state and escalation, I'll remember. When they successfully explore into a land with no buildings, add an additional Explorer. Okay. And that's their 1 explore effect that we have. Alright, so we'll explore the jungles. And it's with no buildings, they get another explorer, right? Yes. So they successfully explore here, and there are no buildings there, so we add a second. Here, there's already a building, so they only get 1 explorer. Okay. Advance the invader cards, please. Great. Now, let's look at our spirit. What the heck do I even do? I have a special rule. Anytime you create a sacred site, push all Dahan from that land. Dahan events never move Dahan to your sacred sites, but powers can do so. Okay. Not immediately clear yet why that's good. Maybe it's meant to be bad. We'll see. I have an innate that does damage and destroys Dahan. So that's sort of bad. Well, obviously 2 damage for a relatively low threshold is pretty good. Destroying Dahan is a downside. But this is one reason it could be good to push Dahan out of our lands, right? Then we make it bigger, and it does a lot more damage, in fact. At least 2 more. Perhaps more if we have enough cards. And if we have 4 plants, we can split it between this land and any other land, okay? Any other of my lands. Then our other one says at range 1 in a land without blight. And this is much easier to trigger because it has several scattered elements. Okay. So you push explorers per sun. Okay. And if it has... okay. So this is the kind of the engine we're going to be grinding all the time, hopefully. So this symbol is a wilds token, which is something our character cares a lot about. It's even in the name. Wilds means the first time the invaders would explore into this land, instead they don't. God, this blinking cursor is driving me nuts, and I can barely even see it. Sorry, I don't know what is wrong. Okay, so these innates are nice. The idea is we start like creating... we make it harder for them to explore into lands. So once you get an area contained, you can kind of keep it under control, hopefully. Okay. We get to pick 2 growth options out of 4, just like Serpent in our Serpent game. Reclaim gains energy. We can pick a power card. Or we can... Our only... Oh no, okay. We have 2 presence actions. Okay. Add a presence to land with wilds or your presence. So it's not very good at adding to new lands, but this lets us add wilds. So hopefully we can use that. And it gains energy. And it's a very wide ranging, pretty much anywhere on the board in a single player game, right? Like, oh my god, the board's way over here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, literally anywhere on the board, from anywhere to anywhere, as long as that's wilds or presence. And then if we really need presence, we can add it to any land without blight, but we have to pay 3 energy to do so. On the other hand, we gain a power card. So, plus we could take both of these in a single turn if we wanted to add presence twice and had the energy to spare. That's an interesting idea. Okay, fine. And our presence track seems pretty strong, honestly. We get to two cards pretty quickly, and we start at 2 energy and can get up to 4 without too much work. Okay. How about cards? So we have Boon of Growing Power. Target spirit gains a power card. Okay. So a little bit bad in single player, I guess. Because we don't gain the energy for it, but fine, it's got good elements. Regrow from roots. If there are 2 or fewer blight, remove a blight. Well, that hopefully should be pretty much always. But only in jungle and wetlands. By the way, playing in Tabletop Sim, I'm going to get some rules wrong. I just guarantee it right up front. So, sorry about that. That's just how it's going to be. Without the computer enforcing rules, there's just so much stuff, it's easy to miss some of it. Okay. Range 1 from a sacred site, Towering Wrath. 2 fear. For each of your sacred sites in or adjacent to target land, 2 damage. Then also destroy all Dahan. Okay, so this, combined with the elements that it gives, this is going to do a lot of damage in a land. Or maybe in 2 lands, right? Because you use this to target a land and it lights up the innate to do more. But the Dahan are obviously going to be sad. And then he has Sacrosanct Wilderness. In a land without blight, push 2 Dahan, 2 damage per wilds in target land, or add 1. Now, I don't understand this. There's this like space in between push 2 Dahan and 2 damage per blight that is puzzling to me. Because if you look at a card like this, there's not normally any spaces in between effects, right? So I kind of think this says always push 2 Dahan and then choose whether to do 2 damage or add a wild. Is there a way I could find that out? Spirit Island power card or power card explanation. Rules semi-commonly misplayed. It's not listed there. Not easily anyway. Power. I don't know where I would look to find a clarification on this. I'm just going to interpret it in the way that seems to make sense to me. Because it seems like this... Well, but this one does have a space. Why? What are some other spirits that might be interesting to look at? Like I mean, I don't know. I know Thunderspeaker has something that has an ore in it, right? So this, there's no... Okay. Yeah. But there's no, like, thing with a space in front. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm making my card overpowered. But I feel like a 2-power card that just said add a wilds wouldn't be very good. So I think it pushes 2 Dahan and adds a wilds. Okay. Well, I have to do my setup. So the highest numbered jungle, I add a presence and a wilds. So this explorer shouldn't have gotten here because there was a wilds there. I'm supposed to have done the setup before the initial explorer. Okay. Well, that's nice. That means if I can deal with this town, this jungle will just be no problem. How could I do that? Well, if I could get to 2 cards, that would be pretty nice, right? I think I only have 2 energy and all my stuff is kind of expensive. And none of my cheap stuff has fire on it, right? But I will have 3 energy if I take this growth action, right? So maybe I gain a minor power and add a presence to... I can't. I could add another presence here. But right now there's no other land with wilds on it. Interesting. That seems problematic. I don't think I can legally take these 2 power actions because you have to make your growth choices before you gain your income. So I think it's illegal for me to take this anyway. Interesting. Okay, well I guess I'll take these 2 then. And I definitely want a minor. And we'll just see what I get. So, what do we have? Gold's Allure. A 0 cost with fire on it. That's exciting. But it doesn't have the other elements I need to do damage, right? I would need sun, fire, and plant. That would be nuts, right? None of these have that. But this does have fire and plant, which is pretty good. Okay. Gather an explorer and a town. And add a strife in a mountain. Okay. Strife is good against France. So what Strife does, I know we looked at the France escalation or their special event. But I forget if I told you what it does. Basically, strife means that the town, or the invader that you add strife to does not attack during ravage. So if you have like a town and an explorer in a land, say from playing Gold Allure, and you strife the town, then in the next ravage, only the explorer will attack, and then the strife will be removed, and then you can still attack back with anything. So you could destroy the town with a Dahan, for example. There's some different effect, I think only in Jagged Earth, that's like does not participate in ravage, which means it doesn't attack, but also you can't attack it back. But that's not what strife is. Okay, scour the land, range 2 from a sacred site. I mean, that's good range because we apparently are going to have a fair number of sacred sites. Our growth really encourages creating sacred sites. I guess like spreading wilds is the way we're going to be adding presence, is to put down wilds and then use our third growth option to put presence into there. Rouse the trees and stones. Yeah, that's great elements. And it's pretty reasonable targeting. 2 damage to destroy a town, which seems good, and push an explorer, which seems fine. Yeah, I'll take that one. Okay, so I'll just give myself 2 ready tokens here to remember this. So I already took this action. And now I'm going to take this one, I guess. Give myself 1 energy. Ah! Right. I could have the energy that I gain be a sun. Not energy, but a sun element. But then I couldn't play a second card. So how important would a single sun be to me? Like, what is it that I need to do? I'm adding presence here. And then I'd like to deal with that town. Well, I'd like to... I mean, there's going to be a city there, too, which is obviously a problem. If I play Browse the Trees and Stones, it has fire and plant on it. But there's just no way I can get 2 sun. So this power is impossible. This power I could maybe get if I played 2 sun cards. This one costs 2. And this one costs 1. That would be kind of interesting. It could push an explorer and then add a blight or a wild, I guess. But this doesn't really do anything right now, so I don't really want to play that. For each of your... okay. It just seems like there's no way to deal with the city, right? So I think I want to rouse the trees and stones. And if I'm doing that, there's no other thresholds I could possibly hit. So I should probably just play another cheap card like this one to gain a power card and see what I can do with it. I could hang on to it to be played on a future turn for elements, because these are goodish elements, right? Sun and plant. Right, I could be gaining sun and this. I don't know. I think I just want to get up 2 card plays and play 2 cards, even if I'm not sure exactly how great they're going to be. So I'll put my second presence. Oh my god, where the hell is the board? Here it is. Second presence there, and my special rule says I do something. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because there were no Dahan there. Fine. So I already gained 1 energy, and now I'm gaining 2 more for my growth, or for my income. I've played Rouse the Trees and Stones, and I'll play Boon of Growing Power as well. The energy cost of this is 2, so I will pay it, and declare myself ready. Not that it matters. Oh, this is my Real Presence token? Anyway, it doesn't matter. In multiplayer games, this is a nice way to like synchronize between players. I'll just get rid of this. I can remember which presence actions I've taken. Okay. So we're now in fast powers. I have none. So we move on to, actually, can I like see this? Invader UI? When I had it on before in my multiplayer game, it just didn't show up. Oh, wow, it even shows where. Nice. Turn order UI actually is what I wanted. There we go. So right, growth, then gain energy. Yeah. Yeah, then choose which powers you play. Fast powers, invaders. Blighted island. The island's not blighted yet. Event. So in Jagged Earth, there's a new rule added for events, which they suggest applying in Branch and Claw as well, which is in the first turn, just don't do events. Just take the first one off the deck and throw it away. There's some events that are just way too swingy to play on turn 1, apparently. Would this have been one of them? Explorers have extra health. Okay, I mean, this would have been pretty nice, because I don't plan to do any damage to explorers, and the bonus effects would have been very useful to me. Oh well. So that was the event. Now we resolve fear cards, but I don't have any. And they build in jungles. So that's... There's nothing... Wait, there's something special about buildings, right? In France. What is it again? When they build in a land with 2 or more explorers, replace all but 1 explorers with towns. I assume after building, right? So that builds, and then this becomes another town. Oh my god. France, are you kidding me? There's only 2 towns left. Okay. And then they build a city here. Fine. And then they explore in wetlands. Fine. Great. Let's advance the invader cards. I love that it updates this. Amazing. It even knows we're in stage 1. Okay. Boy, I really want to resolve that event. Right, we would be getting a fear, and then adding a Dahan like into one of these lands. Oh well. So slow powers. Which of my thresholds did I hit? Just this one. I get to use this in a land with no explorers. Add a wilds at range 1. That's basically here or here. Did I say add a presence? Add a wilds. At range 1 from a presence. Well, I want to go here, I guess, to start working my way towards the coast. This is just sort of staying far. It's going to take longer to get anywhere if I go here, I think. Right, it doesn't increase the number of lands I'm adjacent to, and adjacency is important, whereas this does. Okay, well, let's just do that power now. I'll just mark this as available, and then I'll use it, so now it's not available, just to remember what I have available. And we will add a... What is the numpad shortcut for wilds? 8. Oh, and I don't have any of the thresholds for... I don't have any air, and I only have 2 plant. Alright. I guess technically I should gain this power card first before I choose. Oh, I just put the wild where I said I didn't want it. Anyway, let me gain a miner. Defend 2 in lands where you have presence. Okay, interesting. Fast push explorers is cute. Stopping builds would be really useful. Destroy 3 towns. Okay, I mean, that seems really good. Right? This seems very good against France. It adds blight, which is a bummer. But it has sun and fire, which we like. Right, eventually I need... Like, I need 2 plant, I guess, to trigger my innate. It's gonna be a little tough. Maybe I should work more towards getting plant and fire. Like, I could take this. Gathering them into lands without invaders is kind of nice, because we hope to be isolating lands to make them have no invaders. And it also has air on it, which gives me extra range on adding my wilds. So, drought is just so good though. Right? Destroying 3 towns? I guess it's going to be a while before they have 3 towns anywhere that I can reach, right? This is just so far away. And it's all going to get ravaged to hell shortly. The Dawn are just going to die, which sucks a lot. Yeah, I think drought is just too, like, it doesn't do anything soon enough. I'm going to take Lure of the Unknown. It's range 2 without invaders, so there's plenty of spaces I could put them here, for example. Okay. I've used that power. I'll use this one to do 2 damage to this town. Well, should I do that actually? What if I did 2 damage to one of the explorers so that he doesn't build? I don't know. Destroying a town seems better. Well, but it would like prevent them building here and also prevent them ravaging here, right? So I think I'm gonna actually. I don't have to place. I could delay placing this, so I'm free to change my mind about where to put it. I haven't gotten any. I've gotten new information, but I could have chosen to delay this, and I think it would be. It's fine. I will choose to do that. I'm thinking it might be better to kill this guy. I don't get the fear that I would get for destroying this, but it gives me a land without invaders, which is really valuable to me. And it prevents a ravage, whereas destroying this won't prevent a ravage. They're still going to blight this. So yeah, I'll spend that power doing 2 damage here. And then I'll spend my innate to put the wilds here instead. Now I can get access to more of this area. It's another reason this land is better. Okay, kind of feels a bit wasteful. I didn't get a second damage or the push. But I got what I needed. All right, that was slow powers, so time passes. And we get a little quote about time passing, but it's so small and it goes by so fast I can never read it. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the turn order UI because I know what it is. I just wanted to double check it earlier. So we'll gain sun presence, I assume. And I don't have enough power or energy to take this, so I'll take these same 2 actions again. And I still just want miners. I'm gaining like a lot of miners. Okay. Doesn't seem that amazing. I didn't like forget. Yeah, my targeting was fine. I targeted a land without blight. Okay. Fast, destroy one explorer. This is worse than usual because France explores with 2 explorers. Here's gather Dahan, push Dahan. Well, the Dahan are all kind of just dying, so that's not so great. What? Call to trade. You may gather a Dahan. If the turret level is 2 or lower, gather a town, and the first ravage in target land this turn becomes a build instead. Is that good? Or bad? It could actually be great. If I use it, because I'm range 2 from here, so I can actually stop them from ravaging here, pull in this Dahan so he doesn't get killed by this, and there will be a third Dahan here, and they would build a city, which is obviously like a problem, but it's like a problem for another day, right? It lets me keep my Dahan. Well, okay, I'm not at range 2 from here yet, but I will be soon once I put my presence here, right? So that seems pretty cool. Assuming I can someday come up with some way to damage or defend, these Dahan are very valuable. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna lose presence here. That sucks. But I mean, what was it? There wasn't anything else I could have really done. Okay. I feel like I'm having a terrible game, but it always feels like that at the beginning. Yeah, I feel like destroying one explorer just isn't enough, especially at range 0. Range 2 is very valuable when you have trouble putting presence on the board. So I think I'll take that one. And then I will add this presence and gain 1 energy. And put it in a land with wilds, which is here. Yeah, okay. I really would like to deal with this stuff, but getting this dealt with like permanently was really useful because it stopped the build, and also next time they explore here, they won't explore. So this is like very safe. Yeah, if I can just cut off these, the whole inland becomes really nice. I don't know, maybe I should like... Well, I already took the power card to deal with this, and I think I will. I can't target it here because it only targets lands with Dahan. Huh. Lands without blight. Okay. Sure. So I think... It sucks to lose my sacred site, don't get me wrong. But I have so many ways to like add... Oh, hang on, I should add one of these. It has this little thing that counts what elements you have in play, and it also counts counts elements from these things. You can be like, oh, I need 1 extra this turn to help, and then it tracks that for you. So I have a sun, and I gain 2 more energy, so I have 4. And I can play 2 cards. I think I want call to trade. Just to delay the problem in that jungle and keep my Dahan alive. And If I could play a card with a sun, a fire, and a plant, I could actually hit this innate. I do have one of those. And I can technically afford to play it. But it doesn't do anything right now. Because I have no sacred sites. So all it would be doing would be lighting up my innate, right? Which doesn't seem that great, does it? Would be doing 2 damage, basically. In a land where I have presence, which I assume would be here. So I could, if I really wanted to, I could add my extra presence here instead. And then this would be able to do 2 damage here, and then 2 more damage. So I could do 4, blow up the city, right? But then I wouldn't have enough range to target this land. So I don't think that's really worth doing. And playing this just for 2 damage, not even getting the fear, seems like not great. So I could just like remove the blight in the jungle that's coming up. Kind of stinks, but okay, possibly. Or I think I would rather push 2 Dahan and add a wilds somewhere. How is it targeted? Lands without blight. So I could like aim it here, right? Fast and put a wilds in. So that would be another way to stop them from getting in. I think that's okay. This thing, to gather an explorer or a town, is really nice, eventually. I want to save it to react to them building somewhere funky. Now, I guess I won't have air. Oh, I will. There's air on this. Okay. Air and plants. Ooh, does this have sun? It does. So I would have 2 sun as well. Which means I get my the first part of my second innate. At range 2. Okay. This seems alright. And I pay 3 for this. Okay, I guess I'm ready. I don't know, I just like doing that for fun. So, fast powers. I have 2. I will aim this at range 2 here. So, let me just put a reminder token here and gather a Dahan. So now I will remember that this is a build instead of a ravage. Hopefully I can deal with them at some point. Alright. Then I will use this one at range 1 to push 2 Dahan out of here to here, I guess? And add a wilds. Okay. Wait a minute, I'm not about to lose. There are still 2 towns in the box, and they're only going to build, 0 because the disease is going to stop it. Okay, cool. So I am now done with fast powers. Yes, these are both slow. Okay. And therefore, we will move on to Blighted Island. The island's not blighted. Events. Finally, we resolve an event. It's still stage 1. This is what determines the stage. It's stage 1. When exploring, add 1 additional explorer to each land explored. But invaders do not ravage in lands with disease or strife. Well, that's not relevant now. On each board, push 2 Dahan from a land with cities to a land without cities. I already did push the 1 Dahan that would qualify. So this event, all it does is add extra explorers for me. Okay, don't like that very much. But we have some wilds. Maybe they'll pick mountains? I don't know. Okay, event card is done. Fear cards, there are none. Invader actions. They ravage in the jungle. But here, instead of ravaging, they build. So let's get this out of the way and drop in a city. And here, is it this button to add blight? Yeah. They blight and I lose a presence. Yikes. Okay. Now they build in wetlands, not here, and not here because there's a disease token. Then they explore in, hey, mountains. That's not too bad. So they don't explore here. Ah. I mean, they won't be able to put presence there, I guess, which is a bit of a nuisance. I guess I'll just be putting a second sacred site down here, maybe? Ooh. I don't know. Maybe I'll somehow get enough energy to... I don't know. Anyway. But then they explore here, which adds one explorer, and then a second, not because of France, which sometimes adds 2 explorers, but because of the event card. Okay. Well, I'm not in love with this, but I guess I was hoping for mountains. Maybe I was wrong to hope that. Maybe I should have hoped for sands. But then they would put 3 explorers here, which kind of stinks. Anyway, slow powers now. I have my innates. Ah, right, I can add wilds again. With this power. So this one doesn't go off, but I have at range 2 because of this. I get to push push 1 explorer. And then, if there are no explorers, add a blight, or a wild. So I can't actually do it here. But I could do it here? Or even here. If I could come up with some way to defend this land. That might be useful. But I'm kind of like looking at, don't I want some presence here so I can start wiping out these towns? The range on that innate is 0, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, it also destroys Dahan, which is kind of sad. Am I going to be doing it next turn? Doesn't look like it. Well, actually, I could... If I played my major... Yeah, I will, won't I? Okay. Maybe I could do it here. The thing is... if I'm playing this card, I want to have sacred sites, right? Which means I don't really care about presence being here. So I could like put my sacred site here and then destroy this town slow. What are the France setup rules? Are we getting our... Under the top 3? No, so there's still one more event before we get the good one. Okay. Oh, I just realized the build here is going to build another town, won't it? I mean, it's not absolutely the end of the world. There are still 2 left, but I'm definitely not happy about it. I need to get in there. Are we... The next stage is stage 2, right? They're going to start escalating, which is... If they have buildings, add a blight. After exploring. Interesting. I thought most escalates were before exploring. Maybe I've been playing it wrong, or maybe this one's special because that's how it's worded. I feel like I need to plan out next turn to decide what to do with this, where I need a wilds. Like maybe here, honestly? Yeah, just to keep this area like a little under control. Okay, I guess. So I'll use my innate. Even though it has range 2 and has pushing, I don't want any of it, I don't think. I just can't make use of it. Alright, I guess I'm done with slow powers. So time passes. And I think I still, well, I only have 1 energy still, which seems insane. But I guess I'm going to gain 4 finally, so I can... So I'll have 6 total energy because I'm getting 1 here as well. And I think I'm taking this gain up minor as well, again. And hoping for something that does something relevant. I don't think it's right to gain a major yet. I just don't have that much energy sitting around. I just feel silly taking so many minors so early. Alright, what's the deal here? Here there be monsters. Range 0, slow. You can push something and gain fear. If it has beasts, gain even more fear. Okay. Sun and fire is nice. Pushing explorers and towns is cool. Inflame the fires of life. Has fire and plant. Add a disease, or add a fear and a strife. Disease might be more useful, because France's builds are especially powerful. This has sun and plant, the two that I kind of need the most of. Right? Yeah. Gather a Dahan into a land that you have presence in, and then do 1 damage per Dahan. Problem is that, like, it has great elements, but the effect does almost nothing. Because my lands won't have any explorers in them. So... This, like, does, like, almost nothing. It really sucks, right? So they're about to build a town, and then they'll escalate, which might involve building another town, but won't instantly lose me the game. I'm just like, it would be kind of nice to trigger my innate, because, or my like left innate, because I could just blow up a town with it for free in the northeast jungle. And to do that, I would need another card with a sun on it. And, or no, I wouldn't. Because I'm playing this, I have enough sun. I just need a card with a plant. Right? Which would be either of the 2 on the right. So I could take this. And adding a disease is really good. Okay. I guess I'll do that. And my idea is to play this and this. And then I have 2 sun, 2 fire, and 2 plant. Man, France's double explorer really makes my spreading wilds worse, I think, because it's so hard to get an explorer in to get a land empty of explorers. Okay, so this is my plan, and given that I'm doing that, I want a sacred site somewhere. And I guess it should be here so I can target better. I can aim here and take out one of these towns. Now I gain 1 energy for my growth and 4 for my presence track. And I'm ready to move on to fast actions. I'm now done with fast actions. And we move on to Blighted Island, which doesn't happen. Events. Outpaced. Humanity has always been faster than you, but the invaders' terrifying speed catches you off guard. Each spirit chooses independently for each of their slow power cards played this turn. Oh no. Either discard it. Oh, I should have paid energy for my cards. Whoops. A total of 4. You can either discard it and get the energy back, basically not playing it. Oh my god. So I could destroy 2 presents to let me target it now. I don't have 3 energy, so that's impossible. Well, I guess I could discard one of them to resolve the other. Would be the idea. Okay. Oh, this is horrible. So I think that I should do that. I'm going to discard this one to gain 4 energy. This is horrible because it messes up my innates too. And then I'll pay 3 to resolve this one fast. Which is useful, I think, because it says now. You may resolve it now. Well, because I want to add some disease and then get the benefit of the lingering plagues, was my thinking. Okay, at least we get raids in force, which is going to destroy a town. But, so if I pay 3 energy, which, did I actually do that? I did. And if I resolve this fast at range 1, I can add a disease somewhere, and that would let me add a second disease, which is nice, right? Yeah, anywhere. I think in Jagged Earth they clarified timing of like effects on. Do I still have the Jagged Earth rulebook open? I do. So let me look on page 10. Is it every event? Is it the entire event card? Ah. Everything a main event does is 1 action. And then everything a Dahan event and a token event does are also actions. So you can do stuff in between actions, and it does say now. So I'm pretty sure that I can choose to resolve my power card now, and add a disease, and that would let me add more disease. Now, the disease won't do anything this round, so they're still going to build, which is a nuisance. But I can disease somewhere where it's relevant, like, I don't know. Here to let me kind of try to cope with that, I guess. So let's do that, I guess. Or yeah, I do want to do it now. I was thinking I could wait to do it slow and see where they explore to. But that's kind of what this card is supposed to do. But then I only get one blight, one disease. This way I get two, and like two random disease seems better than one that you get to pick where it goes, I think. So I'll put one here. And I guess here? Because this is a place that already has an explorer. So if they roll this, they'll add another explorer, and then their build would build 2 towns at least. So I think I'll try to avoid that. All right, this continues to be horrifically bad. I still haven't done anything. Fear card wise, I have not destroyed any buildings. All right, they ravage in the wetlands. Well, that's a blight here. And then they build in the mountains, which is this explorer turns into a town, and they also build a city. All right. Oh, hang on. I have to resolve the event card, the second half of the event card. So I added my second disease already, but choose a different land where Dahan outnumber buildings. The only legal target is this one. Each Dahan does 1 damage, so we do destroy that town for 1 fear. Great. And that actually is great. Getting a town out of there, and all I have to do now is like somehow deal with this land, and the whole inland half of the board is like never a problem ever again. That would be very nice, but seems a little unlikely. And then they explore in coastal lands. Get on there. Coastal lands. When they explore to a land without buildings is their special, right? Yes. So that's nowhere. Okay. Good thing I put the disease here, I guess. But I'm like really in danger of immediately losing. Okay, do I still have any slow powers, or did I lose all my elements? I lost most of them. I do have the ability to add wilds, though. Having to discard that card does mean I lose the energy. I think I want it here, just so I can get closer to all this stuff, and maybe be able to do something. Okay. Pretty sad. Time passes. Time passes hasn't actually done anything yet, but it cleans up element tokens that are left here, and it cleans up damage that was left on the board, and so on. So, all right. I mean, geez, I better gain a major, I guess. That should be my first action. Figure out how the heck I'm going to deal with any of this crap. I suddenly have a bunch of energy because the major I tried to play got thrown away. And I am about to lose, right? They only have 2 towns in the box. And they're about to build 1, 2, 3, 4 towns. No, this is diseased, actually. So they're going to build 1, 2 towns. So, okay, I'm not about to lose. Range 2 from a sacred site. Insatiable hunger of the swarm. Add a blight. Add 2 beasts. Gather up to 2 beasts. Beasts add fear. It says deal fear. Usually it's add fear or gain fear. Oh, each beast does 2 fear, 1 fear and 2 damage to invaders and 2 damage to Dahan, and then destroy a beast. Interesting. Pent up calamity. Decent elements. Add a disease and a strife. And remember, we are getting actually the France special event this turn, which it's stage 2. So we're on each board, add a strife to 1 town. And then also, invaders with strife take damage per Dahan. And then you get to add a Dahan per town it destroys. I see. So this land would be an interesting place to add strife to. And if I could have a fast power that added strife, that would be pretty cool, because I could do something with that. Although, oh, it adds strife to a town. Okay. So I could, like, and you can only do damage to invaders with strife. So you can't, like, put strife on this town and then say, okay, since this land has strife, I'll blow up a city. You have to actually blow up the town. I could put strife on this town, and that does only 1 damage to it, but then I could finish it with more damage somehow. Okay, this is destroy all invaders and add a wilds. Goodness. Fire and plant. Add 1 wilds in the originating sands. 1 damage per wilds in or adjacent to target land. So there's this thing, a new concept called originating, which is like this one has to be targeted from a sands, right? Range 1 from a sands. And the originating sands is where you targeted it from. Huh. So that's like a lot of damage and a wilds, I guess. Interesting. This adds strife. Each invader with strife deals damage to other invaders in target land. Its elements are okay. Where are they ravaging? Mountains? Yeah. Oh, it's up here, right. So I could strife this city, I guess, and have it blow up a town or something. And then the city would also take 1 damage just for having strife and the France event coming up. Ah, it would actually destroy a town, and also this is a fast power. It doesn't say during ravage it deals damage. It deals that damage immediately. So we could strife the city, have it destroy a town and the explorer that's about to turn into a town, and then during ravage it also won't deal damage. And it'll take 1 damage from the France event. So if I could find a way to do extra damage to it, that would be really nice. I don't really have a way to do that, though. I mean, range 1 from a sands. I could put presence here, because it has wilds. And then this would slow, destroy all invaders, and add a wilds. And then deal, like, kind of a lot of damage to this mountain. probably one of these wilds is getting removed. But even so, it would be like... There'd be 2 wilds, 3, 4, 5 total wilds. Yeah, I think I have to take Strangling Firevine. I'm gonna have a total of 8 energy. And I want to add presence there. Yeah, okay. And the second card I'm playing, if I have fire and plant and sun, I can't get another sun, so I can't really do anything with any of my innates. I can't get my thresholds any better, so it's just like, what do I want? Gather a town and an explorer. Or an explorer. Would that be enough to do something? This does damage. Okay. Does damage slow. I'm just like, I'm not sure how useful it's going to be to... I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, like, I can't prevent any ravages because Firevine is slow. Or I can't prevent blighting, rather. Which is only happening in that mountain. So that mountain is blighting, and we're going to blight the island. There's nothing I can do about it. Just live with that. But the builds on the coast are obviously a huge problem. And the problem is, if I target the Firevines here, it doesn't do that much, right? It'll just do like 2 damage. Well, 3 damage, I guess. Well, I mean, the France event... Actually... What if I didn't take Firevine? What if I took Instruments with their own ruin instead? I think I could actually take that jungle... Get that jungle under control. Because I could add a blight or a strife to the city. And then have the city blow up some invaders. Like, say, a town and an explorer or something. Then the France event will come up. And it'll strife a town. And the town and the city will both be killed by the Dahan, and we'll get 2 more Dahan in here. So we'll have killed both towns and 1 explorer and a city. So there'll only be 1 explorer, but then they're also going to build. Because they're not ravaging yet. So there'll be a town and 1 explorer, but like 5 Dahan, which seems kind of useful, right? I think that's better than trying to do something with this. So even though the elements are a little questionable, sun is still fine. I'd rather it had a plant on it. But this is just really useful for France, I think. Now, I have to forget a power. I don't really want to gain power cards. It does have plants. But almost everything I have has plants. Yeah, every single card has plants, and that's the only redeeming feature this thing has, so get out of here. We'll just delete this. Okay, now did I already gain... No, I haven't taken any other growth actions. Fine. So I'm gaining 4, I'll have 7, 8. Do I really need to gain this, or should I start working towards a third card? I think I should start working towards a third card. And put presence here. Now, I will gain 1 energy for taking this growth option, and then 4 more. Instruments of their own ruin, and... Actually... Wouldn't Lure of the Unknown, Didn't we just say we're destroying everything but this explorer? If I lured him into the sands, then they would not build here? That seems better than removing a blight. Because I'm getting blighted anyway, this is slow. Yeah, let's do that. So am I hitting any innates here? I have 1 plant. Oh, and 2 fire and 2 sun. Are you kidding me? How did I do that? Oh, but I don't have 2 plant, which is what I would need for that innate, right. But on this innate, I do have 2 sun, so I can push an explorer first. Then add a wilds. And it does have range 2, so I could put it like here if nothing else, right? Okay, this seems playable. Let's pay for our cards. Total cost of 4. And move on to fast powers. Both of mine are fast. I will gather 1 explorer. I could gather a town, but I don't want to. I want the towns to be destroyed. Yeah. Fine. So this is now resolved. And then I'm going to use this. Oh, it's only range 1 from a sacred site. It's here. Oh. This whole plan is stupid. I see. Huh. Well, I could stick with the plan. Strife the city. Have it deal damage to... a town, and then destroy 1 town, damage another. Then we strife the other town. And let it take damage from the Dahan, turn into another Dahan. Then there'll be a city, 2 Dahan, and 2 explorers. And then they'll ravage. So actually, I think this plan is okay. It's not as good as what I thought I was doing. What I thought I was doing was illegal, so that's sort of fair. I'm going to gather this guy instead. And there'll just be this 1 explorer ravaging, so he won't hurt the Dahan. The Dahan will counterattack, destroying the city and the explorer, I believe. So, what's the strife token? Keybun, it's 6. Just give me a strife there, please. Thank you. Okay, and now, as immediately, each invader with strife deals damage to other invaders in target land. So this is destroyed for 1 fear, and this is damaged. Hello? I can't... It's supposed to be a button shortcut for that. But it doesn't... Oh, I'm pushing the wrong button, that's why. There we go. Okay. great. Ah! What did I do? I like... Oh, okay. Okay. Seems good. This is obviously an issue, but I couldn't do anything about it at the moment. Oh, do I want to gather this guy to somewhere else? Not really. Alright, that was Fast Powers. Let's move on to Blighted Island, which has not happened yet. And then events. It's France, right? Tell me it's France. Yay! So why did it say as per setup? I guess, I don't know, it's a mystery. But anyway, we place it under the top 3 cards. So, Slave Rebellion. Add a strife to 1 town. I choose this town. Then, invaders with strife take 1 damage per Dahan present. So this takes 1 damage. Doesn't matter. This takes 1 damage and is destroyed. The strife is now gone. And we gain a Dahan, which is number 0. Oops. But over here, please. Now that we have finished with this, we draw another event. Then, okay, so this is the event we're going to resolve. Now I have to put this 3 cards from the top, like so. And then I might as well leave it face up so I remember, right? What? Okay, I guess you can't leave it face up. Fine. Still 3 of these, right? Okay. I know I could pick them up as a group, but then they'd be in a different order. I guess that doesn't matter. The order is random, but okay. Alright, now we resolve this event. Island's still healthy. During the next normal ravage, each city does +2 damage. Oh, I'm so glad that this happened, because the city has strife, so it does no damage. On each board, add a disease. Ignore disease during builds. Okay. I guess I want disease here? I don't want this thing getting... Like, I haven't yet put a wilds there, and maybe I don't really want to. But we're ignoring disease during builds this turn again, so... I don't know, maybe put it here, actually? Here? Yeah, because there's already an explorer there. And that makes a build here more powerful, so let's try to stop it. Then what? 1 fear per land with invaders where Dahan outnumber buildings. That is just this land. So we gain 1 fear. Okay, this was a good event. It happened to just do good stuff. Well, yeah. None of my... Well, it meant that this disease doesn't resolve now, which is actually kind of a bummer. Actually, maybe a huge bummer. Did I lose? No, there's 4 towns left. Okay. Anyway, we're done resolving this event. This game is going so slow. But we knew that was going to happen. New things, and also I have to manage everything by myself. Okay. Let's resolve the Ravage. Or, well, Fear cards, but we have earned none. Now, Fear card, or Ravage. They Ravage in mountains, which is here. They do 1 damage to a Dahan. The Dahan strike back for 4. Destroying all of that and giving us 2 fear. Notice it says we've earned a fear card. How nice. You know, I guess one reason we might have wanted to be gaining energy more instead of working on cards is then we could start spending our energy on gaining presents. Interesting thought. Anyway, now they build in coastal lands, so that's... Now their special effect does apply here, right? After they build, it doesn't matter whether they built a town or a city. Okay. So they're building a second city in here. Oh my god. Let's just stack them up. There's 2 cities. And this explorer transmutes into a city. A town. And here, they build a town, and this explorer also turns into a town. So that was a lot of towns. There's suddenly only 1 left. I really have to deal with some of this stuff. Good news, there's a lot of blight everywhere, so hopefully whatever they explore will be alright. Explore. In mountains. So what's so special about escalating? After exploring, choose a land. Okay, I guess I have to add a town somewhere? Because I can't, even if I wanted to, I couldn't pick a land that has a building to add a blight. Oh, we're not getting blight because only the mountains ravaged. Right, and we stopped that. Nice. Alright, anyway, so they're exploring to mountains. So here, and this is removed. And then I pick one of these 2 to put a town in. I guess I choose this one. What did that say? 0 towns left, I know. Because now when they build in mountains, they're going to build a city. If I put it here, they build another town. This gives me time to deal with some of the towns on the board somehow. Okay, well, not in love with this. Slow powers? I have only 1 plant, so my leftmost innate doesn't go off, but my right one does, and I get a push. And I can add, so I can push 1 explorer, and then if it has no explorers, add a wilds. At range 1, right? I don't have any air. Oh, I have tons of air, so at range 2. But they're about to ravage in coastal lands? It's actually kind of a good way to deal with this, huh? Yeah, I can actually stop this build if I push this explorer, say, here. And then put in a wilds, which is 8. Right now, they'll ravage here, which is sad. Killing a Dahan and blighting. But the remaining Dahan will blow up the town before they get a chance to build. The big problem is these lands are also blighting. And cascading. So it's really going to be a nightmare unless I can find something. Like maybe I could strife the city to destroy these 2, and then I just have to find some way to do something about this town. Not sure exactly what that would be. But anyway, that seems like the best thing I can do. Oh, it does have to be a land without blight, but that's true. This was legal. I guess putting the wilds there is a little bit suboptimal. Because... Actually, let's put them here where they're not building in their next build anyway. It's a little bit bad. Because the wilds here matters least. They've already drawn mountains this round. And I could prevent an explorer, say, into one of these insane coastal lands. But I think the fact that we can actually use this Dahan to stop a ravage is worth it. I'd have to find something to do with all this blight. Stop 1 ravage somehow. All right. Anyway, I'm now done with my slow powers. So time passes, and I will choose my growth options. I assume I'm reclaiming here, but maybe not. Maybe I gain a power, and I'm just like, oh, that's perfect. I'll play it together with this, right? I don't think so. So what's in my deck if I'm choosing whether to... Huh. Is there a wilds in that coast? Because there's not. Okay. I was just thinking I could maybe do some damage with... It's kind of annoying that when you have the search up, you can't use... Okay, I can navigate with the mouse. Fine. Oh, but I can't... Well... Okay, so I'm just looking at fast stuff I have. Oh, I mean, that's kind of... I could use this. Stop them from ravaging and make them build again instead. They would build a city, which is, like, not great. But if I... Well, if I do that, then I don't even have to strife anything, right? I can save the strife for a slave rebellion in the southwest jungle. Okay. So if I reclaim this, I can also play this. And I could even play a third card. Something like this has decent elements. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know, it seems kind of wasteful to strife this place and then say it doesn't ravage. Maybe I should say this doesn't ravage, and then I could, like, strife this city? Well, no. Maybe I should say this doesn't ravage, since it's going to kill 3 Dahan. The blight is maybe less important than that. Because the Dahan are going to have an uprising eventually, right? So I stop this build. I make this build instead of ravage. That adds a third city. Kind of a problem, obviously. And then I strife this city. Well, but they're still blighting, so that sort of sucks. I mean, it lets me destroy a city, which is cool. Or destroy a town and an explorer. And they still just barely blight. That's what bugs me. Is there anything I could do that would fast... Right, because if I destroy the town and the explorer, I strife the city. All they have is 1 town left. Could I fast do something about that as well? I think so, right? I could... Well, this only targets lands without invaders, and there aren't any adjacent to that, so not so great. I don't think I have anything that can fast do 1 more damage. Or get the town out of there. This does fast damage, but only if there's wilds, and there aren't any. I guess I could choose to resolve my slow power for adding wilds differently. Put it here instead. I would then have to unpush this explorer and put him back. It was really nice to prevent this build. And if I put the Explorer back, there'll still be an Explorer alive after the Dahan, right? And he'll build. But I think it's very useful to prevent this ravaging, so I think I will do that. Let's drop that guy here instead. Put the wilds here, and now I can push this Explorer if I want. Do I want? I don't think so, right? Because this is doing 3 and 2. Yeah, he's dead. Okay. So this is the only blight, but they still get to build. Maybe the event card will help, or the fear, right? Just destroying one, like, Explorer would be really nice. Okay, so we decided that I'm reclaiming, and I think I can afford to add presence somewhere. Say here? Or maybe a sacred site would be more valuable. Oh, I need a sacred site to target this thing, don't I? Yeah, range 1 from a sacred site. So I'm putting my presence there. Okay, that decision is made for me then. Great. And get me up to 3 cards. Although, what's the third card I'm playing? I don't know. If I can't find one, I'll take it back and just gain energy instead. Okay, and just regain all these, please. Oh, and gain 2 energy for these 2 growth options, and then 4 more for my presence. Now, there are still 0 towns in the box, right? That's kind of a problem. We're destroying this one, and this one, and this one, though, so that should be good enough. That jungle, obviously, a bit of an issue. So we wanted to play Instruments of Their Own Ruin, and also Call to Trade. Oh, right, that only works in lands with Dahan anyway, so I guess I could have moved some Dahan, but okay, so we'll put it there. Okay, and so what else do I need more of? I really want a plant. If I could get 2 plants, I could do more stuff, but that I obviously can't with just 1 card. I don't need any elements for anything, right? I can't get these elements. So it's just like, are any of these effects good? Gathering an Explorer. Oh. I could gather this guy here, or here or something. I could gather him, yeah. And that stops this build. Still gonna take damage during blight. Okay, so that's one possibility. What else could I do? I could just remove some blight, which is nice. But we are getting blighted because I'm not removing the blight fast. I just can't make much use of this. I really hate it. I could just add disease or strife. Yeah, maybe now's a good time to start working on the strife in this place. Just strife up a city or something, maybe a town, I don't know. I could strife here instead of pulling him away, just have him not attack. Or strife, I guess, the town. Then I don't blight. And we still clear this place. That seems kind of good. Yeah, I think that's better than anything else I have. It keeps the Dahan alive, it keeps the blight from happening. I can legally target it there. Yeah. Alright, and it has plants. Great. Ah, that means I can finally do some damage here, wipe out this town. Or an explorer here, like if they explore into this land, I could maybe wipe out 2 explorers for some reason. We'll see. Okay, let's pay for my power cards. Alright, sure. Now let's see, Blighted Island, we have not yet blighted. Event cards. Now let's remember, this is the first of 3 on the way to France's slave rebellion. Promising farmland. Uh-oh. When exploring, once per board, place a town instead of an explorer. Okay. How does that interact with France? After successfully exploring into a land which had no towns, not has. So we'll still add the extra explorer as well. Okay, and then also add a beast to a land without blight that has a town. During Ravage, in every land, defend 1 per Dahan in that land. Ah, so this is actually handled. I don't have to spend my power there. I can put strife over here, I suppose. Strife up another city, I guess. Or I was strifing 1 here to wipe everything out, and then strife here. Okay, sure. So let's pull this over here so I remember the explorer effect. But I will now immediately resolve the beast effect. A land without beasts, without blight, that has a town. I mean, if beasts are going to do anything ever, I kind of want it to be done here, please. Okay, and then in every land, defend 1 per Dahan in that land. Wait a minute. Oh, my powers are fast. I shouldn't be looking at this yet. Okay, good news. The 1 power that it affects is a slow one. Oh god, that's slow blight. Slow strife. I'm really glad I don't need this because I didn't even realize it doesn't work. Okay, anyway, we're going to do these things. So we're adding strife, which is 6, I think? Yeah. All right, don't look at this. Add strife here to this city, and then the city what was my plan to do more damage? Was there some other card I was going to play that I forgot to do? Oh, I was going to play this. Right, that's why I can't play this. That costs 1 more energy. That's how I was going to do enough damage. Okay, so we're doing 3 damage, which is 1, 2, 3, gaining a fear. And then we also spend this fast power on the same land. We can push 2 Dahan, but there aren't any there. 2 damage destroys a town. 1 more fear. And my last fast power, you may gather 1 Dahan, but this is impossible. And then I put my reminder token on this land, so it builds again instead of ravaging. Okay, now I'm done with fast powers, and I should actually look at the fear card. Add beasts to a land. Yeah, so that's the beast I put in. During ravage in every land, defend 1 per Dahan. So where are my defend tokens? Here they are. We defend... Oops. I always forget numpad 2 and is a different key than number row 2. Okay. So we defended 2, which is fantastic. Now, they ravage in the coasts, but here, instead, they build. So just give me a city, and we'll plonk it down right on top of that one. And you know what? Let's stack the towns, too, so I can see what's going on. There you go. Amazing. Just don't look like this, and you might think things are okay. And the ravage here does nothing but remove the strife. The ravage here deals only 1 damage to the Dahan, who strike back for 4, and we get 1 more fear. Hang on. We shouldn't be ravaging yet. We should be resolving a fear card. Okay, so put back this city. It hasn't been built yet. Put back this strife. It hasn't been removed yet. Put back this fear. I haven't gained it from this. And put back the explorer in the town. And unflip the Dahan. I'm supposed to resolve this fear card now. We're at terror level 1 still. Each player adds 1 strife in a land with beasts, disease, or Dahan. Huh. And I have seen the event, so I don't have to, like, do this. Beasts, disease, or Dahan? Well, I could strife here. The idea being that eventually, when they ravage here, or when they get the slave rebellion, I can turn cities into Dahan. Or I could strife over here with the plan that this doesn't cascade out of control. But I'm hopeful that I can just take care of this someday with my innate. So, speaking of which, do I have any innates right now? I have 2 plants, 3 sun, and 1 fire. Oh, so I actually get to trigger... Yeah, I do 2 damage and destroy a Dahan. And then I have a reasonably good second innate as well. Okay. So I think I'll add the strife to this town, or city. I could... Excuse me? Here, I'll unstack it. I could put it on a town. The idea being that with France, towns are kind of more dangerous than cities are. But I don't think I want to do that. Do I? I mean, how many towns are in the box right now? We're about to destroy 2 of them. And there are 2 in the box, so we'll have 4. I think we're going to be okay on that. I just want to get as much damage out of this town, this area as possible, so that when the Dahan strike back, they can just do a ton of damage. Alright. So that's, I think, how I will resolve my fear card. Is putting the strife... Where's my fear card? Here it is. Putting the strife there. Okay, now they actually ravage. Which means removing this stuff for 1 fear. And building here. And removing this strife. Whew. Well, let's get rid of this as well. And this is... Oh, it's still here. It was here because of the... Yeah, okay. Now they build in mountains, which does nothing, thank goodness. And they explore in wetlands. When exploring, once per board, place a town instead of... Ah, that does nothing because they're exploring into a land that's all wilds. Great news. But they do still escalate. Pick a land of the chosen terrain and add a town to it. This one, I guess? I was thinking this one because... No, that's dumb. Because they're going to build here next turn. I don't want to give them a foothold. I want to just have them do this. And then they'll build a city instead. Oh, they're going to be diseased. Alright, sure. Fine. This is now resolved. And let's do slow powers. I do have slow powers, my innates. So I can do 2 damage and destroy a Dahan in a land that I have presence in. Well, it seems like this is the obvious choice. We got a fear card. Just double check. Yes, I do have the elements for that. Okay. Then my slow innate that lets me place wilds. So I can, at range 2, I can push an explorer and then place a wilds if there are none. Well, I've already explored mountains and wetlands in stage 2 and coasts. So I think sands are what I should work on. There's already wilds here. So I think I'll just put a wilds there. Well, actually, you know what I could do? I could go here, push that explorer, and then drop a wilds in. That seems pretty good, right? Because, yeah. Now, I could, now that I actually have presence here, I could destroy this town instead of one of these. But I really would like to get this area under control. So I think I will do that. Okay. Yeah, if I can just get rid of this city, a huge swath of the board becomes completely out of play. Okay, it's been a long video, and we're like maybe halfway through the game. But I think I'm going to break this one up. I don't really want to release a 4-hour video. So, hope you guys have enjoyed. Join me next time for the thrilling conclusion of this game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.